For all practical purposes, today's decision almost certainly means that there are virtually no limits on what the president can do. This is a fundamentally new principle, and it's a dangerous precedent.
President Biden's warning, former President Trump's next move. We have the reaction to the Supreme Court's historic ruling on presidential immunity. And Hurricane Beryl strengthens to a Category 5 as it approaches Jamaica. The Morning Rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Tuesday, July 2nd. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. It was a landmark ruling by the Supreme Court. In a 6-3 vote along ideological lines, the justices ruled former President Donald Trump is entitled to some immunity for official acts he took while in office. The effects of the court's decision will be seen in the coming days. But it took little time for the two presumptive nominees in the 2024 presidential race to react. The former president is reportedly looking to have his New York trial conviction overturned based on the Supreme Court's decision. According to Trump's legal team, the Manhattan jury's verdict that found him guilty of falsifying business records should be overturned because the jurors saw evidence during trial that they consider now to be protected. Trump's lawyers are seeking a delay in Trump's sentencing, which is currently scheduled for July 11th, so they can have more time to make their case. In the Supreme Court's opinion, Chief Justice John Roberts wrote, "The president is not above the law, but the president may not be prosecuted for exercising his core constitutional powers." After that decision came down, Trump posted on Truth Social, "Big win for our Constitution and democracy, proud to be an American." Meanwhile, President Joe Biden deciding the historic ruling warranted a primetime address, warning of what he called a dangerous precedent.
This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States. With today's Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity, that fundamentally changed for all practical purposes.
Biden repeating Justice Sonia Sotomayor's dissent, saying the ruling makes the president, quote, now a king above the law. In response, Trump posting that the primetime address was just meant to deflect from Biden's debate performance. Our Ray Bogan has more on the Supreme Court's ruling on SAN.com and on the Straight Arrow News mobile app.
I'm proud of going to prison. I am proud of going to prison today.
Steve Bannon turned himself in to serve 4 months in a federal prison on Monday. The longtime Trump ally was convicted of contempt for defying a congressional subpoena from the January 6th House Committee. Bannon will serve his sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution in Danbury, Connecticut. Bannon spoke with reporters before he was taken into custody.
If this is what it takes to stand up to tyranny, if this is what it takes to stand up to the Garland, corrupt, criminal DOJ, if this is what it takes to stand up to Nancy Pelosi, if this is what it takes to stand up to Joe Biden, I'm proud to do it. I was on a destroyer for 4 years in the Navy. I am prepared for whatever prison has, right? Our prisons are run very well. The Bureau of Prisons does a great job. I'm prepared to do this. Whatever tasks I'm totally prepared, mentally, physically, everything for prison.
In a radio interview on Monday, when asked about Bannon's sentencing, former President Donald Trump blamed President Joe Biden for what he called weaponization of the justice system. More than 100 victims and families of victims of Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel are suing Iran, Syria, and North Korea, saying the countries supplied the terrorist organization with the money, weapons, and instruction to carry out the deadly attack. The lawsuit, which was filed in federal court in New York, seeks at least $4 billion in damages for the attack. The suit was filed by the Anti-Defamation League, a Jewish advocacy organization, and is the largest case against foreign countries in connection with the attack. The United States has deemed Iran, Syria, and North Korea as state sponsors of terrorism. This comes as the Israeli army ordered a mass evacuation of Palestinians from much of the southern Gaza city, Khan Yunis, on Monday, signaling troops are likely to launch a new ground assault into the Strip's second largest city. Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 5 storm. This is the earliest on record that a hurricane in the Atlantic has reached the highest category there is, with wind speeds above 160 miles per hour. It made landfall on the Caribbean's Windward Islands on Monday as a Category 4 storm. Many are still without power or water, and at least one death has been reported. The hurricane is expected to hit Jamaica by Wednesday afternoon with life-threatening winds and storm surge. Beryl is only the second Category 5 Atlantic storm to be recorded in July. In a small victory for the Biden administration, a federal appeals court will allow the Department of Education to move forward with lowering millions of student loan borrowers' monthly payments this month as the administration faces two legal battles over the repayment plan known as SAVE, which launched last year. Last week, a federal judge in Kansas issued an injunction blocking the plan from taking effect on July 1st. The Department of Justice quickly appealed. Under SAVE, many borrowers will pay only 5% of their discretionary income toward their debt every month, and anyone making $32,800 or less will have no monthly payment. On the other income-driven repayment plans, borrowers pay at least 10% of their discretionary income. Finally this morning, on yesterday's Morning Rundown, we spoke about how Simone Biles is making Olympic history at 27 years old. Today we're talking about another Olympian who's made history of his own at the age of 16. The teen sprinting phenom's name is Quincy Wilson. After twice breaking the U.S. record for under 18 runners at the Olympic trials, it was confirmed Monday that Wilson will be joining Team USA at the Paris Summer Games later this month. Wilson will be part of the team that runs the 4x400 relay, making him the youngest American male athlete to appear at an Olympics. Wilson's team will formally be announced next week. These are your top stories for this Tuesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.